Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about first chapter of your biology, that is life processes. Okay. So before discussing about this chapter, let me introduce you with the word biology. Okay. So what do you mean by biology, beta? It is the branch of science that deals with living organism. If I am saying living organism, then it will include plants and it will also include animals. Okay. So we must understand what life is or what qualifies something as living. Okay, so do you know who is known as the father of biology? Yes, father of biology. That is, it was Aristotle. Yes, Aristotle was the father of biology, and not only the father of biology, but he is also known as father of geology. Okay, and do you know what in the geology? Actually, I have written here na plant and animals. So the branch of science that deals with plant is known as botany, while the branch of science that deals with only animals, that is known as geology. Okay, but here in class 10th we will study all these things together. Okay, all these botany and geology part are combined in your biology portion. Okay, now come to our main topic of this chapter, that is life process. Got it? So something which is living, what do you mean the life process is? Something which is living beta, not dead, is said to be alive. I mean to say here life is present. In very simple word, alive meaning having life. Alive is called jeevit or jinda in Hindi, you can say. So we are alive and you are also alive. So those things which are alive are known as living things. Okay, these are known as, yes, living things. All plants and including human beings are alive. But the important question arises, what are the criteria we use to decide whether something is alive? Yes, whether something is alive or not. Yes, look at this. Yes, look at this. The most important criteria, movement. Yes, you can easily observe here. Okay, so the most important criteria is the movement. Is important sign. This is an important sign, beta, of life of an organism. Yes, of an organism, that an organism is alive. Okay, and here not only I'm not talking about only animals, but the movement is also present in case of plants also. Look at this. So all the living things which are alive move by themselves without any external help. So let me write down this line also. Okay, all living organisms okay, so or you can say all living things which are alive, they are able to move by themselves. Yes, without any external help. Did you got my point now? Is it clear? But only the difference is that in their movement, that in some cases movement of living things are quite fast. Look at this. These are the animals now. So in animals the movement is very fast and it is easily observed by us. Yes, so let me write down these things. Okay, animals. In animals you observe fast movement. I am writing all these things so that you can easily made notes. Okay, while in plants it is noticed also. You can easily notice it. Okay, you can easily observe it. Okay, while in some cases, look at the plants. In plants the movement is usually slow and you observe it very difficulty. Plants, the movement, they show slow movement and cannot be easily observed. It observed with difficulty, the only difference. But yes, both of these show movement. Let me tell you how the movement occur here. Let me show you. Yes, look at this here. In case of animals, look at this. There birds are moving, birds are flying in the sky now. Actually animals can move from one place to another place, or they can move their body parts. For examples are given here in front of you. Yes, look at this bird move when it flies in the sky. We move when we go to a school. Just look at the second diagram. Fish moves when it swims in water. Okay, as well look at the third diagram. Frog moves when it jumps into a pond. Is it clear? Okay, so these are the different type of movement which is easily observed in case of animals. Okay, why in case of plants what happen? Plants are actually fixed in a place, at a place. Look at the sunflower, na beta. Look at the second diagram. That they are not just like animals that move from one place to another place. They are able to move only part of their body. Part of their body means to say either they are able to move their leaves, or they move flower, shoot or root. So look at the second diagram. What are here moving? Is whole plant is moving? No. Only a part of plant, that is their flower, is moving. Okay. There is no locomotion observed. They are just moving from one, they are just moving their direction. Okay. And in the first diagram what you observe, this plant is known as Mimosa pudica plant. Okay. So I am going to write their name here, Mimosa pudica. Mimosa pudica plant. Yes. This plant, Mimosa pudica plant, it is a very sensitive plant. It folding up. What you observe, that folding up when touched with a finger. Yes, absolutely correct. Look at this. है ना? Look at the Mimosa pudica plant. Okay, so plants also show movement by growing their roots and shoot bigger. Okay, but what happens with the living or non-living things? Non-living things which are not alive cannot move by themselves. Yes, these are the features of non-living. For example, chair is a non-living thing which cannot move by itself from one place to another place. Okay, or show any type of other movement. We will have to move it. We will turn the pages of your books or your copies just by applying force from outside. Is it clear? Done to everyone? Okay. So here's the basic difference between the living thing and non-living thing. First difference is that living things, they show movement of body molecules also. They are able to move from one place to another place. In non-living things, even though there is a movement, they are not alive. There is a movement, but they are able to move when we will have to move it actually by applying force from outside. Then they are able to move. Okay, living things provide us. Living things need nutrition. They show excretion. Okay, need nutrition means to say for their development they need food. Okay, and with the help of food they produce energy. They are able to perform excretion. I mean to say they remove undigested food materials and the metabolic waste from their body. Okay, they show growth. Yes, they show growth and respiration, breathing. Okay, they are able to respire, release energy from food. Okay, reproduction. They can have young ones. They can reproduce. Okay, why they show sensitivity? Sensitivity in the sense of, you have seen, in the sense of Mimosa pudica plant, है ना? Okay. Now what about the non-living things? It is not taking place. There is no nutrition. They don't need any type of food for their movement. Okay, for their growth. There is no growth occur. Okay, the size of chair never increases. Size of a notebook never increases. Okay, itself. There is no respiration and there is no reproduction. Their number also not increases automatically. Okay, and there is no sense organ also. So these are the just basic difference between living things and non-living things. Okay, so let's come toward the topic life processes. So all the living organisms, all the organisms perform some basic function to keep themselves alive. Here we will talk only about the living organisms. Okay, now the basic function performed by living organism to maintain their life on this earth are called life process. So first of all, let me write down a little bit definition now. Then we will discuss the different things. Okay. So what are the life process, beta? If I'm writing it here, the basic functions performed by living organisms to maintain their life. Yes, to maintain their life on this earth. Okay, so this is known as life process. Okay, so the basic life process common to all living organisms. First one is the nutrition. Okay, transport, respiration, excretion, synthesis, growth, regulation, and reproduction. Okay, actually if I'm talking about the nutrition, actually the process of nutrition involves taking the food inside the body and then they convert it into smaller molecules. Okay, so these are the process. So these are different process. We will discuss each and every process in detail. Don't worry about it. Don't worry, we will discuss it. Okay, first of all, first what is the nutrition now? So come toward the nutrition part first of all. Okay, then we will go toward the next part. Clear? So all the living organisms need energy. Is I correct? Yes, all the living organisms need energy to perform various life processes. Okay, so how would they get energy? Yes, can you tell me? They get energy with the help of food. Okay, so food is a kind of fuel which provide energy to all the living organism. Actually, energy required by organism, it comes from food that the organisms eat. So, sorry. So, we will first study the process of intake and the utilization of food by an organism. Okay, and this process is known as nutrition. Yes, so our topic is nutrition. What are the nutrition? The process of intake and utilization of the food by an organism is known as nutrition. Okay, clear? Okay, so the physiological process in which living organism make or obtain material, that is nutrients. Okay, nutrients which are essential for their life and which supply energy for metabolic activities. Metabolic activities means to say, beta, activity which is necessary to maintain life on this earth, na? Such as growth, repair, transport, movement, reproduction. Okay, so for all these process our body need nutrition. Okay, nutrition. Okay, so actually nutrition come from a one nutrients now. It is written here. Nutrients are the materials. Just it is a material. Okay, is it done to everyone? Okay, now let's talk about mode of nutrition. Okay, so we will now describe the various ways of procuring food or obtaining food by different organisms. In other words, here we will now describe the different mode of nutrition of the various organisms. Okay, so actually all the organisms do not obtain their food in the same way. Different organisms have different method of obtaining food. Okay, so let me show you two methods in different organisms through which they obtain their food. Okay, so first one methods are first mode of methods are known as the autotrophic. Yes, it is written here actually. There is no need to write it. Autotrophic and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, clear? So let me explain you autotrophic, then I will explain you heterotrophic. Okay, beta. So autotrophic mode of nutrition means to say, देखो बेटा, auto means to say self, tropic means to say nutrition. Okay, so autotrophic nutrition is that mode of nutrition in which organisms makes, or you can synthesize its own food. Auto means to say they are able to synthesize their own food from the simple, very simple inorganic organic materials like carbon dioxide and water present in the surrounding. I'm writing whole definition. Don't worry about your notes, okay? You can easily make your notes with these slides, okay? In the surrounding with the help of sunlight energy. So this is all about the nutrition. Okay, so autotrophic means self-nutrition. The organisms are able to synthesize their own foods from inorganic raw material in the presence of sunlight energy. Did you got my point? Okay, done. I will give you examples in the next page. Okay, I am not going to write it there. Okay, come toward here. In the next page here, I am going to write down the examples of the autotrophic nutrition. Okay. Look at, now listen me, not look at. Okay, the green plants have an autotrophic mode of nutrition. So first examples are the all green plants. Okay, they are able to synthesize their food in the presence of carbon dioxide by using carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight energy. Okay, even some autotrophic bacteria also beta. Some autotrophic bacteria also obtain their food by autotrophic mode of nutrition. Yes, though most bacteria are not autotrophic. Okay, so the organism having autotrophic mode of nutrition all called autotrophic organism. Okay, or autotrophs. Did you got my points? Okay, so all green plants are autotrophs because they are able to synthesize their own foods. Okay, while there are some non-green plants are also that are autotrophs, certain bacteria now I have written it here. Okay, now come to the next point, which is known as the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Beta, hetero means to say others and same, tropic means to say nutrition, that depend on other for their nutrition, that obtain their nutrition from others. So let me write down their definition. Okay, it is a mode of nutrition in which organisms cannot make their cannot make their own food. Okay, from simple inorganic material, yes, clear? They are not able to make their simple food, okay, like carbon dioxide and water, while they are depend upon and they are depends on other, like we are depend on plants now for our food. Other, we are able to cook food now beta, but we are able to cook food only when plants provide us now. Okay, organ, I will explain it. Just give me a second. After writing it now, I will explain it. Other organism for its food. Okay, so actually all the animals, not only we, all the animals are heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Here I am to write the examples of heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Yes, here I am going to write down the examples. Okay, examples. Yes. Hanji. So first one is the all animals. This is the first example. Okay, second one is the most of the bacteria and most of the fungi also have autotrophic mode of the nutrition. So organisms having autotrophic mode of nutrition, now beta, these organisms are known as the heterotrophs. Okay, clear? Okay, so non-green plant like yeast are also heterotrophs. Keep this in your mind. Keep this. So this can be framed as a question beta. These are important question. You have to learn all the examples. Okay? Okay, actually heterotrophs depend on autotrophs. Heterotrophs depend on autotrophs. Did you got my points? Okay, clear? So in other words, animals are heterotrophs which depend on plants or animals for their food. So from the above discussion, we concluded that green plants make their own food and non-green plants and animals cannot make their own food. They obtain food from plants and other animals. Okay, then we are able to cook food into the kitchen. Okay, so we will now discuss the various types of heterotrophic mode of nutrition in detail. So first mode of nutrition, first heterotrophic mode of nutrition is the saprophytic, second one is the parasitic, third is the holozoic. Okay, so let's see about the saprophytic mode of nutrition. Okay, so write down the heading, beta. Here I am going to write down the heading. I am going to writing the heading. Yes, first one is the saprophytic nutrition. Okay, so this is first type. So beta, sapro means to say, can you tell me? Yes, sapro. Let me take another color, no? Then I will write it there. Okay. Hanji, sapro means to say, beta? Yes, means to say rotten. Okay. So as saprophytic organisms, what do you mean by this? Actually, they drawn its food from rotten leaves, dead animals, and household waste like rotten bread. Okay, so you can easily write in the definitions here. Okay, let me check other slides are available now. Yes, okay, so I'm going to write it there. So is that nutrition, write down that nutrition. It will be nutrition. Okay, don't get confused. It is nutrition written here. Okay, let me erase it. Okay, don't get confused. Nutrition. Hanji, nutrition in which an organism obtains its food. Yes, they are able to obtain its food from decaying organic matter. Organic matter of yes, dead plants, even the dead animals also, all the living organisms, all not living, when they are alive now, that time life is present in their body. Now that this time these are dead plants and dead animals, and even the rotten bread also. Okay, etc. There are so many things. Okay, so we can now see that saprophytes are the organism which obtain their food from dead plants, even they are rotten, their leaves, dead and decaying animal bodies, and other decaying organic matter also. Okay, and the next examples, if you want to write on the example, now write it fungi like bread mold. Yes, about the bread mold now we will discuss it later in this chapter. We will discuss in detail, but after 2 or 3 lectures. Okay, yes, fungi like bread mold, mushroom. Okay, even yeast, they develop on a dead and decaying matter. Okay, any bacteria are the saprophytes. Okay, so we know fungi and bacteria are a kind of plant, so we can also show that saprophytes are plants which feed on dead and decaying organic matter. Okay, is it clear to everyone? Please note that saprophytic nutrition is also known as saprophytic nutrition. Okay, saprotropic, actually saprotropic nutrition, this nutrition is also known as saprophytic nutrition. Okay, so this is done. Now come to the another part of another type of heterotropic nutrition. Okay, so another type is, the second type is known as the parasitic. Yes, second type is known as the parasitic nutrition. Okay, now write down. Okay, again let me take the color another color, so that you can differentiate between the heading and the definition. Okay guys, so what do you mean is the parasite? You all are very familiar to us. The organism which obtain the food is called parasite, and the organism from whose body food is obtained is known as the host. Okay, do you know these two words, parasite and another word, host? Organism which obtain food known as parasite, and the organism from whose body food is obtained known as host. Clear? So we can say that a parasite, if I am writing down the definition of parasite, now write down. just for your information, is an organism. Yes, plant, either they are plant or animal which feed on, because there are some plants also, parasitic plants also, okay, feeds on an other living organism called, feed on other living organism. Okay, this is known as another living organism. This is known as the host. Okay, so write down definition of parasitic nutrition is that nutrition, yes, in which an organism derives its food, yes, it derives its food from the body of another living organism. Did you got my point now? Okay, did you got my point? And this another living organism is always known as host, without killing it. Yes, but without killing it. I will explain it with the help of example also, don't get confused. Okay. Okay, so a parasite receives its food from the host but gives no benefit to the host in return. Yes, the parasite usually harm the host. It gives no benefit. Okay, so the host may be a plant or it may be an animal. Most of the diseases which affect mankind, okay, like dog and cattle and even the crops are caused by the parasites. Okay, did you got my point? So there is a microorganism, that is plasmodium, which cause malaria, is a parasite. And the roundworm, which cause diseases. So let me write down examples also, no? Yes, plasmodium. And another organism, that is a roundworm. Did you hear about the roundworm? Roundworm it causes disease in man, and plasmodium cause a very common disease, that is malaria. Yes, roundworm causes a disease in man and dogs and cattle, is also a parasite. Roundworm lives inside the body of a man and even the other animals also, as well as several fungi also, and bacteria, and even the plants like cuscuta. Yes, very important example, plant is very, this can be framed as a question, that is cuscuta. It is a parasite. Okay, amarbale, this is known as the amarbale. Some other examples are the tick, lice, that is known as jue in your hairs. Okay, leeches, tapeworm. There are so many examples, beta. Every example is given in your module. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, so this is all about the parasitic nutrition. Okay, now let's talk about last nutrition, that is known as holozoic. Okay, here again I am going to take next other color. Okay, that is right on the heading, holozoic mode of nutrition. Hanji, this is holozoic nutrition. Okay, beta. Now, chalo. So holozoic nutrition means feeding on solid food. Solid food, I mean to say, it may be a plant product, okay, or animal product. Most of the animals, including human beings, take the solid food in their body by the process of ingestion. The ingestion, food is then digested. Digestion means to say broken down of the complex food material into the simpler form, and then it is absorbed into the cells of the body. Okay, so and the undigested food and unabsorbed waste material ingested out of the body. Don't worry beta, we will discuss holozoic nutrition in this particular chapter in so much detail form. Okay, so write down the definition. The holozoic nutrition is that nutrition in which, write down that nutrition in which an organism takes the complex food materials. Okay, just write down the food material either, or you write down the any complex food materials, it's okay. Food materials into its body, okay, then digest it. Okay, then digest it. We will discuss it later, what do you mean by the digestion and so many things. Then absorb it, and then absorbed into the body cells, okay, of the organism. So this is all about the holozoic nutrition. Now the undigested and unobserved food of the part of the food is thrown out of the body of the organism by the process which is known as digestion. So the human beings and most of the animals have a holozoic mode of nutrition. In other words, you can say man, cat, dog, even the cattle and frog, fishes, even amoeba also, beta. Yes, amoeba also. They all have holozoic mode of nutrition. Clear? So after this now we will discuss about the nutrition in plants in the next lecture. Okay. So that's all for today. Thank you.